Hey everyone, Dr. Zio here again, and today we're talking about Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 10, Phoning Home. And whoo! This was a good episode. Definitely better than episode 9, personally. But yeah, it was a good episode. It was a Zayto focused episode that started off with us kind of expanding upon what Void Knight wanted, what Void Knight was talking about at the end of the last episode. If you remember at the end of the last episode, he said that he was going to use the Sporks for something special. Well, this episode starts with Mucus, of all people, building our second general for the season. I'm proud of Mucus! Look at her doing things. Mucus is my favorite of the monsters so far, on the bad side so far, and I'm happy she's doing things with herself. So making herself useful beyond being the comedic relief. So her building our general for the second general for the season, that being Slither, was nice. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And Void Knight says that the thing that Boom Tower taught us is that, putting a powered up Sporix into, or putting a Sporix into one of these androids or robots can make them grow, which is an important lesson, I suppose. I mean, yes, it's an important lesson. But I was honestly more expecting him to say that the Sporks can make them more powerful, because that's the main thing I got out of Boom Tower using up that powered up Sporks, is that he became more powerful, he became more complete. It wasn't just that he could grow. The reason he was able to take on the Rangers is because it made him stronger. And I'm wondering if Slider doesn't have a defect necessarily, like a defect kind of, because the Sporix that Boom Tower used was a powered up Sporix, whereas the Sporix that Slither used, we're assuming is a regular Sporix, not like one of the regular Sporix that they got in the last episode. If that's the case, it explains why the Rangers took out Slither with no problem whatsoever, which I will get to that in just a second. But anyway, that was a great scene. Oh, poor Mucus wanting to be friends with Slither, and Slither having none of that was just, it was heartbreaking. Be her friend, man. Be her friend. So, yeah, Void Knight is keeping to his whole promise from the 8th episode that they need to be stronger and faster. They decide to use the data they've gathered up on the Rangers and put that into Slither to give Slither an upper hand, and so that they're not really starting from ground zero with this robot. And that was super smart. It was handy multiple times throughout the episode, and I love that. So Slither's whole thing is that he can transform into different basically into different things. So he transformed into Void Knight, and he transformed into Arla. And as Arla, he disguises himself and tries to make Zayto and everyone think that he is a Ravkonian person from Ravkon. Zayto, we go back to the Rangers base, and outside, Zayto is souping up the communicator that we saw in the 3rd episode, so he can send another message throughout the galaxy or the universe, so he can try and get something over to where Ravkon is supposed to be. My man is still searching for his Ravkonian people, and I hope he finds them. I really do. If nothing, Zayto is very persistent. But we also see Solon outside the base, and that was nice, getting to see her in natural lighting. And oh no, bless Solon's heart. She makes Zayto a Ravkonian recipe, or special Ravkonian recipe, which turns out to be dog food. I can't. Bless your heart, Solon. And Zayto touching her to show her that, yeah, man, this was dog food. It wasn't actual human food. That was funny. And I like when Zayto uses his powers. And it's nice that Zayto had a pet. It was a cute little dog with little antenna. That was adorable. But then we cut to what happened next? The Rangers were training. The Rangers. Now there's a scene at Buzz Blast with Jane and Jayborg with some cat collar. It wasn't all that important, but afterwards we get the training scene. So before the series premiered, there were promo pictures that show the Rangers training at the base outside, at Dino Hinge. And this whole time thinking, when is that going to come into play? Because Ion, that needs to happen before Ion pops up, because there's only 5 Rangers training. Ion's not in that little group of 5. And so here we have that training scene, which I loved. It was nice seeing them all training and playing some sort of variation of capture the flag, which quickly gets interrupted by Slither popping up as Arla, who was a great actress, and I'm miffed that we will not see more of Arla, or presumably we won't see more of Arla because her cover was blown. But she says that she is a Ravkonian, and then she grabs everyone's hand and tells them a little bit about themselves because Arla / Slither had the Rangers, information put into their system. So it makes sense that Arla was able to talk about who they are as people. Although that does bring us to our question of the week later on, which I'll get to later on. There's some holes in this plan of theirs that we will touch upon here in a few minutes. But yeah, so Zayto is gung ho. He's all like, "Yeah, you're a Ravcon for sure. I'm not gonna touch you." Which, my man, I'm so sorry, Zayto. I'm so sorry. My man put his whole heart into this whole interaction, this whole episode, and like, I'm so sorry. Like, Void Knight taking advantage of this was so smart. Like, he knew how to get under Zayto's skin, and that was smart. It reminded me of Andros trusting Astronema in Power Rangers in Space all willy-nilly without really questioning it much. And of course, that came to bite the Dino Fury Rangers in the butt a little bit, because as we saw, Arla, Void Knight distracts the Rangers, and Arla tries to get the Sporix Beast. However, using the dog food, Solon feeds the dog food to Arla, and then Solon's like, "Yeah, that's dog food. It's not anything. It's not some Ravcon special recipe." So then Arla's outed. She turns back into Slither. She tries fighting Solon, or he tries fighting Solon. Solon teleports them out, and bruh, I know Void Knight, at this point, I know Void Knight is pissed about those teleportation devices, because this is the second time that one of his people has gotten teleported out of the base for a pretty solid plan that should have helped, or should have worked, if teleportation wasn't so easily accessible by the Rangers. Like, first it was Boom Tower versus Amelia, and now it's Solon versus Slither. Like, whoo! I know Void Knight is mad about that. But Solon got a fight! Solon got a fight scene. I was not expecting that. It was a very well choreographed fight scene. And I was choked when Slither beat Solon. He zapped Solon with something, and it kind of short-circuited Solon's systems. And I was like, oh no, Solon, you have to get up. You have to be okay, because Solon's a treasure. Solon is a treasure that needs to be protected at all costs. But yeah, that happened, and then Slither, or Arla at this point, grabs Solon's communicator and teleports back to the base. Rangers finish up their fight with Void Knight and his crew and teleport back into the base. And Slither's like, "Yeah, no, Solon went to go take a walk. Y'all should go find her." So 4 of the Rangers go find Solon, and it's just Zayto and Slither back in the base. And Slither is all like, "Well, all right, so we need to get this Sporix Beast out of here, back to my ship, so because I know how to destroy them. Ravcon technology's advanced so much that we know how to destroy the Sporix Beast now." And I want to double back real quick. I love how apprehensive Solon was about Arla from the get-go. That was smart. That was very smart, and it shows that Solon recognizes that Zayto might be vulnerable in this moment, and she needs to pick up the slack, and that she just cares about her boy like that. Like, that was great. But eventually Zayto sees Solon's communicator there, so he grabs Arla's arm and sees that, oh snap, there was a fight, and you are not Arla, you are in fact Slither. So Slither transforms, tries to hurt Zayto. He grabs Slither's staff, and teleports them back out. Twice in the same episode. I know he was pissed. I know Slither was pissed about that. That was hilarious though. Absolutely hilarious. Then we have a short little fight. The fight was okay. It was okay. I hated that Slither, out of all the monsters Slider could have turned into, he decides to turn into Rustafa from the previous episode. Like, why? Like, I would think that turning into Boom Tower, if you can mimic that powered up sporks part of him, you probably could have taken care of the Rangers pretty quickly. Like, or teleport into, or turn into Wolfsbane, whichever one of those two, and use the Howl if you can access their power set, which I assume you could, and destabilize or break apart the Megazord again. Like, that was a very effective plan in episode 8. Like, why you would turn into Rustafa, who didn't really give the Rangers much of a problem in the previous episode, is beyond me. Like, you have to have access to their fight data. What made you turn into Rustafa out of all those monsters? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. The Rangers make quick work of Rustafa Slider. Slider falls onto some telephone wire. That circuits his systems, wipes out his memory, which makes me wonder, did that also wipe out his knowledge about the Rangers? Because that could be a problem later on, but I guess they could just put it back into him. And then Mucus comes to retrieve him, says that, yeah, we were best buddies and you hate mean people. And, oh no. Mucus using this as an opportunity to make a friend was just adorable and hilarious. I loved it. But anyway, back to the base. We have an apology scene between Solon and Zayto. Solon is understanding and understands that, the importance of finding the Ravkonians for Zayto. She didn't really have a problem with Zayto not trusting, or not believing her, or believing her apprehensiveness. And the episode ends with Zayto sending out another message into deep space to try and get in contact with the Ravkonians. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed the episode. It was great. I didn't enjoy Slider turning into Rustafa. Again, it didn't make any sense to me, but otherwise, great episode. I loved Arla. I loved the actress who played Arla. I wish we got more of her in a future episode. I hope we do. I don't anticipate it, but who knows? Anything can happen. I mean, this probably won't happen, but hopefully anything can happen. But anyway, yeah, great episode. And we actually don't have any questions of the week for this episode. It was pretty straightforward. But yeah. Anyway, let me know what y'all thought about the episode in the comment section below. As always, mask up, stay safe, be healthy, get your vaccine. Hope y'all have a good week, and thank you for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.